Hi, I'm Chris McGinnis fan, and welcome to Crub, the Game Awards. What more needs to be said? Hi, Kevin. What do you think about the Game Awards? I almost said the Golden.
The Golden Awards are not an award show that I currently hold yet, but the Game Awards are the second most prestigious award show according to most consumers, behind the Crubbies. So we're going to go through the list. The awards have been shown off today. The nominees have been shown off today, rather, for the Game Awards, and we're going to kind of go through and react. We've only seen, I think, just the Game of the Year list so far. So we're going in blind on just about everything else. So it's going to be a kind of a blind reaction. Em, what do you think about the Game Awards?
Man,
I mean, that says it, right?
Yeah. Right.
We're not often cynics. Like we can be cynical on some things, but the Game Awards is the one where I think we're all universally cynical.
There's just no positivity that I can spin on it anymore. And I've really been trying. I used to be, when the first time the Game Awards came out, I was a big fan of it because I was like, oh man, this is Geoff Keighley. He's been here since, the Spike things or whatever it was with Leslie Nielsen. He cares. He's putting his own money up. This is going to be great. This is going to be a thing where we're finally able to get the award show that gamers deserve. And
we got it.
We got exactly what we deserved. That's the problem.
I don't know if you were going there, but I saw that and had to jump on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, right. I really wish that we had a sort of a celebration of gaming that wasn't quite as cynical and bad. And I understand why why it ended up this way. You can follow the path. It is not even remotely complicated why we're here. But it's gotten to the point now where the Game Awards feels just kind of bad. Right. Now that they're trying to trademark the words Game Awards too, it's just one of these things where you're just guys, you have taken it and turned it into this horrific beast,
It's very emblematic of a lot of the industry's issues.
Yes.
I think I really like the BAFTAs for what they tend to do.
Yes.
And I like their award structure. No one watches it, and that's because it's good. I wish the only thing I'd really want, you could do everything else the same with the Game Awards, and I'm just about fine with it. I just want them to have a press pool in the back, like the Oscars and all the other shows have, where you have a little junket with each winner where they get to actually talk for more than 2 minutes. Some of the coolest things. I've gone back and I've watched a couple of the, what's the name? Kiwi Kwan. His Oscar press conferences, because it was just so joyful and thankful and grateful.
Super
and I try
wholesome.
to be more grateful generally,
Yeah.
And so that reminds me of how gratitude can work at that sort of scale. Not that obviously any of us are at that scale, but I would love to see stuff like that, because it reminded me that, there still is a better way of doing it than the Game Awards currently have, because otherwise they're usually one of the better ones of the major, the EGOTs. In that they're not exactly self-indulgent, it's just about ads.
Mm-hmm.
And
very self-indulgent on the ads. Yes.
Yeah, Geoff Keighley crying, saying, I played this game 7 years ago for the first time, and now I get to show it to you. And then it's Bonk's Adventure 2.
I think we're going to see.
What was the one last year? What was the last one where he was sobbing and was it
Okami 2?
That's an okay one, but it was everyone was oh my god, it's Half-Life.
Right. It was it's the Half-Life.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for this game. This is the one. I can't believe they're making a sequel. We never thought there was going to be a sequel.
Pre-rendered trailer, teaser, no actual it's in production soon sort of thing.
You might have been thinking of the Fast and Furious one that capped off a few years back.
I just saw the trailer. I just saw it. Well, let's go ahead and talk about this other thing.
Not to stretch this out any longer, but I do. I always love. Crub fans will know. We always love the Geoff Keighley humble brag of, I've played this game a few months back for every single game he talks about.
I tried this.
It's a drinking game, man. Already. You will be drunk by the end.
You will be you will have alcohol poisoning.
Yes.
But yeah, so with all that in mind, we're very positive about the Game Awards, and we're looking forward to probably watching them together and doing that on our Twitch, twitch.tv/crub_official. We'll most likely have a Crubbies this year as well. If you want to join the Crubbies voting, whenever it does occur, check out the Discord, crub.org/join. It is free to join. We have a viewer and Crubby voting set compared to our own voting set as the Crub people, as the Crub company. So we get to compare and see where our biases are. And speaking of biases, let's look at the Game Awards.
Yes.
Shout out to Polygon here for this article. They were the first ones on Google. The Game Awards site is down. Geoff Keighley said to stay in line and make sure you vote. So, yeah, I'm a mail-in voter for Game Awards. Game of the Year, we have Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Donkey Kong Bananza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah,
Chris,
you know,
what are your thoughts?
I wasn't super surprised by any of these. I feel like these are kind of the obvious choices. The only one that I felt was like maybe, and it's just because it was the lowest selling out of all of these, was Death Stranding 2. It only sold like 1.5 million copies or something compared to the rest of them, which sold, you know, many more.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one I would have put in that place would have been probably Ghosts of Yotai. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this is kind of the most cliched offering that we could have gotten. I hear a lot of people, at least on our Discord, who are surprised at Kingdom Come 2 being on there. And I think that's sort of, you know, reminiscent or it reminds me that we really do have kind of these weird little gaps out there where you just go, what do you mean? What is this game? That's such a weird game.
Yeah.
And then you've got, you know, other people who are like, no, this is the best game of the year by a huge margin. It
reminds me of like Kingdom Come. I think of those, even though I have the first game on PS4 sealed, played it. I think of that game as a PC game. And so there's a very like PC gamer, not the PC gamers are a bubble, but there's a very PC gamer selection bias on that game. And it reminds me of like the people that are playing that game are most likely on PC and adoring it. And similarly, a lot of those same people tend to be the people that think the Steam Deck is wildly selling as a system because they don't go into the console bubble. It's kind of just that. Yeah. No knock on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I want to play it at some point, and at this point, I've kind of heard just play it instead of 1 because it's that good.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It was just kind of an intimidating start at one point, and I got it for like $10 for 1. That was Silksong. Brody wrote a thing up for Silksong that I told him we might read in a mocking voice. I'll let Chris decide if he wants to do that, but while he decides, I will look at Hades 2. Is probably the one that none of us have really actually played much of. It kind of, to me, looked like more Hades, which I'm into, but didn't love it nearly as much as everybody else on Earth. Thought it was good.
The one that got me thinking about how hard it is to make a general gaming award show, because I know it's good. I'm sure Hades 2 is fantastic. No one in my bubble that I follow has talked about this game past like the first week it came out. And that's not to say it shouldn't be here or should be here. It's just, it feels like such a percent of a percent kind of game where it probably has the quality, but I look at this list and I'm just surprised by some of what is here. Like, I feel like there are things missing, even though I can't tangibly articulate them.
That I mentioned in the Discord when this first came up, when we saw this specific list and kind of talked about it with the Crubbers.
Yeah.
And Hades 2 is the one where I'm like, I think that one, highest rated game of the year currently.
Oh, yes.
Besides the Zelda ports, but
those don't count.
That's the same. Yeah. Hades 2, highest rated game of the year. To me, I'm speaking entirely just off of prior game examples. It seems like an Uncharted 3 situation where it's gotten such high scores in part because the first game was so beloved that anything that lived up to that remotely by default is then rated just as high, if not higher. Hades was that game of the year for that year that it came out. Yeah. And it did something so it's kind of like reinventing the wheel, where if you do something really polished, it doesn't feel as breakthrough as the first one, but it's still super beloved. And I'm not surprised that it's here. It's cool that there are 2, debatably, if you want to call it 3, indie games on this list. And it makes sense then why one of the snubs that people would probably argue is Blueprints. I don't think Blueprints had a shot in hell compared to the other 2 or 3 indies on this. So
no,
I like the game a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely. I cannot imagine a world where Blueprints is on the game of the year list. I really can't.
If Silksong hadn't come out this year, I think it would have had that spot. Not that I think these are
as
like
the indie
in terms of slots or whatever, but it just feels like they like there are 2 indie games they consider 3 indie games on this. So there were not going to be especially when Kingdom Come is like the same review score overall on OpenCritic as Blueprints. There was another one that I'm forgetting that could have been there that I mentioned, but that'll come to be in a moment. Chris, you and I liked DK Bonanza. We talked about it.
Yeah, we liked it a whole lot, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put it as a game of the year contender, but
yeah.
I guess there is an inclination to kind of look at these as slots, though, and there would have to be a Nintendo game, right?
Sometimes there's not, and this was like the only Nintendo game that could have been here, I think. It was Prime 4, no. Oh, Split Fiction. I pulled it up on my phone. Split Fiction was the other game that you could have seen taking a spot, because it's around the same scores from critics as a Kingdom Come Deliverance, and also as a result as a Death Stranding 2, because those are about the same. But it's similar to Hades 2 in that it's not It Takes Two, and so it gets a big bump for being another really quality game. They keep doing good work over there. But if you're gonna pick two indie games, it's not gonna be there this year, sort of deal.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Bonanza. I didn't love it at first. I was kind of not super into it, and then I realized it was an immersive sim, and it kind of clicked. And I like it for what it is. I forgot that it was in fact like a 9 out of 10 game according to everybody. I thought it was like in like the high 8s.
Yeah.
Which is probably where it should.
Yeah. That was one we both took a couple hours to kind of ramp up on, I think. But once it did, it
it starts really weird pacing wise. It's almost like the same exact formula as Odyssey. We have a whole video where we talked about it. So if you want to check that out, it's also on the audio feeds. If you want to listen to the audio version instead of seeing our faces, we understand. Death Stranding 2, I'm the only one of us that has played it. I really, really enjoy it. It is maybe the most distilled Kojima game ever made. It is batshit insane. I've told Chris a bunch of things because he wasn't going to play it anytime soon, so I spoiled a bunch of plot points to see if he could figure out which ones were made up. They were all real. Every single one was real. It is maybe the dumbest game I've played in a long time. Parentheses, positive.
Yeah, there were so many times where I'm like, okay, but this has to be the one he's making up, and it was somehow more real than the real one before.
Yeah, I like that game a lot. I'm also, I guess, in a way that they intend, very confused by that game. I think it is the most iterative sequel Kojima has ever made, in that it is just the ending of Death Stranding 1 mechanically for the entire game. They don't really add much. And also they make it so that cars are overpowered. So all the struggle of climbing is gone because it's meant to be a more mass market game than the first one was, because the first one was, in my opinion, intentionally dog water for 15 hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Watching you play actually unsold me on the game, because I'm one of the weirdos who liked that shitty ramp up to when the game treats you nicely, basically. Yeah. Right. And the game starting off on that foot was like, okay, so you kind of just start good, and then you could probably just use everything there to the end of the game, barring any
truck
context
I built
specific. Yeah.
When I was first able to build the truck is the truck I used the entire game.
Yeah. And I
think maybe it broke once and I had to get a new one, but
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to be able to break the game in that way. It's kind of like breaking your favorite platformer because you can also jump in your truck. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff there where I'm like, this is maybe it's not bloated stylistically, or narratively rather. It is bloated stylistically. Like there's stuff like there's like a bunch of weather effects that are really, really cool. Some of the best looking weather, like dynamic-ish weather effects I've ever seen in a game. And then they're used like twice. So
that's so Kojima though.
It's very, and it's same with like all the stealth mechanics for stealth and combat mechanics for a game that has, I think, 17 combat missions, give or take, total of the 500 in the game. Those numbers are not the exact numbers. It's been a while since I played it, but there are not really many combat encounters in that game that you will do even if you want to. And yet I guess the Metal Gear suite of shit that you can use.
I feel like this is a good time to remind people that Kojima was removed from Konami because he's this kind of person, and he threw a hissy fit about reusing the Fox engine. So like he's always been a bit excessive with regards to, throwing in a thing. I think it's not surprising that he's doing a Death Stranding TV show now, or movie, whichever it is.
2 TV shows and a movie, I think.
Yeah. It's not surprising.
I'm not surprised. I'm more surprised that he then said, I have an idea for 3, but I'm not going to direct it. Because the series, I would have thought would keep going because there's still several continents left to do. But I guess it's a character study instead when it's not. Clair Obscur is my game of the year. I'm just going to spoil that now. That game is incredible. We've not shut up about it since Sean recommended it again on the little What We've Been Playing episode. Then I did the same thing. I told Nico to play it. He's now done the same thing. It's a virus. It is spreading. We will not be more annoying about it. It's as good as people say it is.
I'll feel surprised if this doesn't win.
Yeah,
it does feel like that's the most likely winner. If it's not Expedition 33, I don't know. Right? Like you take that one out and it starts to feel a lot less sure.
It's like that or Hades 2 to me, as far as like this is what critics are critics and people in the industry seem to think are the two best games of the year. And Hades 2 has such high scores for being such a breakout game, and for just living up to what people wanted out of it. But Expedition 33 is a game that I don't envy them when they have to make another game, because this might be the best debut game ever made.
Yeah,
like
it's going to be really hard. I guess if we could, just because this is game of the year, and I feel like this is the one that people actually really care about. Sure. I'm going to give you my hot take, which is the one that I think doesn't belong here, which is Silksong. I don't think Silksong is game of the year quality at all. I think that it is here purely on hype. Purely on hype. I think that this is the game that people are just like, well, of course it's Silksong, right? Because everybody really likes that game. And I don't think they do. I think that this is a game that's going to end up going down in the future as a game nobody remembers or talks about.
You know what? I won't go that far. I think that Hollow Knight took a while to build into the game that it became mythically. And I think Silksong, based on from what Brody has told us about how it's structurally meant to be different, and you're supposed to use like the gadgets and whatever they're called, and what have you, that it is meant to be an echo or like the counter, what the two characters singing against each other. One is singing one way, Silksong singing the other. And I think that it'll take time for people to maybe appreciate the echoing back of Silksong, especially with how many people played it, not having played Hollow Knight because of the hype.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you were one, for example.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think that history will be kind to it. But I think it was always going to struggle under the weight of the original, unless it was the best game ever made. And even then.
Anything, I was surprised by how, I don't want to say negative, but not instantly glowing people, like fans of the first game were for this, right? Because I was playing it because of the hype, and I was like, I think I kind of get it, actually. Like, I was having a pretty good time with the game when my attention span was still on it. And then every time I'd look around online, people are like, this game's way too hard. It ruins everything. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like, everything I used to know doesn't work anymore. And I don't play hard games. I bounce off of them like water off of a wall. That's what I'm going to run with. I don't know why that makes sense.
All right.
But sure. Yeah. But, I found it like a really interesting challenge. It was one of the 2 times I played a hard game where I'm like, I actually want to get better. Like, I feel like I'm just about there. I had the experience everyone has with these games, right? And I did not think it was that hard of a game for where I was in the game versus where everyone else would have been at the time. Like, I've heard it gets harder in Act 2 and 3, but we were all in Act 1 at the time. And I'm like, if this is hard, then I can probably breeze through the first game with the way people are talking. Like, I think people will warm up on it over time, to your point, but that first week or so, as they were still like balance patching some things out as well, I think there's just a lot of people had a long time to have an expectation of what that game should be to them, and maybe it didn't exactly fit into that mold right away. They
wanted more Hollow Knight, and this is more of the end of Hollow Knight, I think, is a lot of it. I thought Brody had said that Act 2 was actually easier overall than Act 1, because by that point they changed. Like, Act 1 is the challenge gate that Souls games have, is what he has said. So I think people were just going in expecting it to be right where Hollow Knight was to them in memory, and not right where Hollow Knight ends with the hardest challenges of the DLC and whatnot, because this was DLC at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fair. I think the one that I wouldn't put here is, I don't know that I'd put DK Bonanza here.
It's that, or maybe Death Stranding 2, where I'm actually a little surprised that got there.
Death Stranding 2, I don't think I would put there, but it's the Game Awards. It was going to get there.
Yeah.
like DK Bonanza is like the same. Those are kind of the same level of game to me. But you don't usually see an okay Nintendo game get a Game of the Year nod, whereas every Kojima game gets a Game of the Year nod.
I really feel like Bonanza is here because it's the only game that's a true game on the Switch 2, right? Like, as far as the Nintendo games comes out, Mario Kart is not really, right, like a game in the same way. And I know that sounds like, of course it is, and I don't want to get into the nuances of what a game is and what I mean by that, but I think people understand it. I think they get the vibe, right? Like, Bonanza is more of a game, and it's the first real game. It's kind of the only real game from Nintendo on the Switch 2, and I think that's why it's here, because it's really... a monolith for the Switch 2 and Nintendo overall.
It's not controversial. You're not going to get Pokemon ZA out of it. Like,
right.
Yeah. If you said Death Stranding too, Chris. So we kind of all gave our hot takes on which one we think wouldn't be there. I don't think we'll do that with every single one of these, but this is the one. And a lot of these are going to repeat. So thankfully we won't be as loquacious on the next one, which I believe was Best Art Direction. Which we have Claire Obscure. My scrolling was very locked in. Best art direction is Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Silk. So the only one here that's not already been talked about, Ghost of.
Yeah, again, this feels, like nothing particularly surprising. These are all games that are kind of well talked about for their beauty and art. I am sort of surprised that it's not a larger category because, boy, all the games that came out this year, there's some really pretty stuff out there. Even in our Game of the Year with Kingdom Come Deliverance, if you haven't seen what that game looks like, it's absolutely stunning. Like, truly, it's one of the craziest game engines I've ever seen. They took the Cry engine and just made this wild thing out of it. But then it's a question of, like, what do they mean by art? And a lot of people think when they read this art direction, they mean, like, the hand-drawn art. I don't think that's really what they're talking about when they do these things, but that does tend to kind of reflect the nominees. And that's why I think you see things like Hades, which is, drawn looking. And you've got Claire Obscure, which is kind of, pastel-y and artsy and like that kind of look. I think that's what drives the nominees a lot, but I don't think that's actually the meaning behind the category.
I'll push back a little on that as far as Claire Obscure, because I would also think art direction is cinematography and
I would I would agree. That's what I think of it as.
Design.
And I think that for that, I don't disagree that Claire Obscure belongs here.
Yeah.
I just think that the reason that we see the nominees that we have here is because people see art direction and they think, oh, so like with a pencil.
Yeah. Because Claire Obscure has some of the coolest. You go, Chris, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this is kind of vague and broad, right?
I think Claire Obscure, I don't know that would be like, we're not going to pick winners, everyone, but I don't know that would be my winner, but it has some of the best unique vistas. And it's always this wonderful, not only is it, a painting in terms of how the art visually tends to appear. It's very, surreal. It feels like so many of those shots like could be their own piece of art, which is, I think, the telltale. And Ghost of Yotei probably, by that measure, I actually haven't played Yotei yet. By that measure, knowing how Tsushima was, Ghost of Yotei, every single frame of that game is going to be a masterpiece, like without fail. So I'm not surprised that it's here. I've heard that Yotei has a bunch of nominations, but didn't get the Game of the Year nod, which makes sense for that series because it's very good. It's great. It's not maybe outstanding, even though I love it a lot. Any other thoughts on art direction?
Nope.
Moving along, we have Best Audio Design, which is Battlefield 6, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei, and Silent Hill F. None of us have played Silent Hill F, right?
These I have played, yeah.
You have? Okay, you have.
So once again, I think these are kind of like, no-brainers. Battlefield 6 has some of the craziest audio mixing. One of the things they've done in this, and I really do appreciate kind of the accessibility charge that we've seen come from like Ubisoft and EA and stuff. One of the things that they did in Battlefield 6, and this is just kind of like a personal, gripe that I have with gaming in general, is I really hate the tinnitus sound so much. I hate it so much. I think that you are actively damaging my ears to show me people getting their ears damaged, and that's like I can't understand it.
Yeah.
So you can just turn that off. It's a thing that you can turn off, and you've got the ability to use a slider to change which frequency it will go up to. So you could keep the tinnitus sound, but make it, less damaging. And I just, boy, that kind of stuff, little things like that, the audio mixing, the gun mixing, the sound of war and stuff. And one of the things that they have in Battlefield 6 that I think is really, really, really cool is their War Logs mode, which is in the campaign. It's very interesting. Or I'm sorry, it's in the multiplayer. It changes the mixing to be sort of muffled sounding so that your gameplay sounds like you are watching an old war movie.
That's cool.
It's really realistic. You know, it takes the highs and lows and kind of compresses them a bit and like makes certain sounds louder, and it really expands the scape of the sound. It's really cool.
Really cool.
Really cool.
That'll jump me into Ghost of Yotei, because Ghost of Yotei not only has the Kurosawa mode visual design, there's also like a lo-fi mode that they added in there based on, I forget the name of the other
Samurai
piece it was based on. Yeah.
Nujabes or something.
I believe that's it. They have multiple like modes that change the visual style, and then that one adds like a weird lo-fi beats to Murder 2, which I think is really cool. And Tsushima, I'm just going off Tsushima. That game had incredible audio design. The sound of a sword going through somebody, the sound of all the violence and whatnot just felt like you would expect in a samurai movie. And that game is a samurai movie simulator, and for that, incredible. Death Stranding 2, it's got good sound design. It's a game that's on not that the engine is the same, but the Horizon Decima engine, I'm pretty sure has some sound settings in there that are again similar, and from which Death Stranding can like expound upon. It sounds great. Doesn't have the Die Hardman noise, which is sad, and I'm really upset about that. But otherwise good.
What I would say
Silent
with Death
Hill.
Stranding, like a lot of iconic sound effects from like the creatures and machinery and stuff, right? Like you played the call tone, and like I think about the BT noise. I haven't played 2, but I assume there's a lot of new things like that where without even having played the game in a long time, I still
That's a good point.
can like summon that instantly without having to think about it.
They did a really great job in a lot of the jingles and a lot of the all the small stuff. I mean, it's a Kojima game. They're going to spend 12 years working on the tiny details of every single thing. That's what that man does. Silent Hill, I can't speak to, and that would be entirely you.
The game itself, with regards to its audio, it makes sense why it's here. It's really well mixed. I think that this is a clear loser because the game just isn't popular enough, right? Like it didn't reach that level where people have actually played it to hear it in the first place. And I think that, as with a lot of these categories, people vote incorrectly. So audio design, they're going to be going, well, Claire Obscure has the best soundtrack. And that is something that we're going to see. I think Silent Hill has clearly lost this one, right? Like
it's also ran sort of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And I don't think that is wrong necessarily. It is a well-mixed audioscape.
That's good. Claire Obscure, its actual sound design is, again, top notch. I don't know that it would win this category, but all the different enemy attacks have specific parry windows based on both sound and the visual effects, and the sounds are so satisfying. They're so punchy. A lot of that game is some of the best I've seen in Unreal 5, because Unreal 5 is kind of a messy engine, and they did a great job.
Super messy.
They did a great job on every front, not making it feel that way.
Yeah, Unreal Engine 5, boy, it's what just a disaster of an engine this entire thing has been.
Yeah, it's fun. Chris, I'm going to let you read the next one. Best Game Direction.
Yes, sir. Oh, a lot of familiar names here. Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Split Fiction made an appearance.
There we go. Good for Split Fiction.
I think we've talked last year or two, at least remember you, Moriarty, talking about how you hate this category, and I agree with you. Because for me personally, it's like I'm not in that studio. I'm not watching the game director day in, day out, week to week. I don't know.
I am.
Well, Kevin's there, and that's why I rely on Kevin to tell me where to vote on this one, right? But it's what does that mean to me as a player? I don't think I think with a movie, maybe you can get a little more out of like the direction of the movie because you can kind of see how the director might lead the shots through the cinematographer. With a game, it just feels so much more ethereal and so many more people are pitching in on the general experience, you know?
It's even worse because like there's a game director, but there's also there's like a story director for a lot of games. There's a cinematography director. It's not game direction is multiple people winning the award, but it could mean anything from cinematography, which should be in art direction, to the actual game design. And most people don't know what game design is, so I don't know that that's I don't know that we're gonna have a lot to say unless we just want to ramble on this one.
Yeah, I've always hated this, as you've mentioned, Chris. I think that this ends up just being Game of the Year runner-up pretty consistently.
Or Game of the Year runs the table.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it'll sweep. So that's that one. Glad Split Fiction does make an appearance here. Best multiplayer, Chris. I'll let you read this one too. We'll do threes.
Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction again?
Fiction. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm trying not to have my keyboard too much here.
I got you.
I'm surprised Arc Raiders made it because it's such a recent release. I know it's been in beta and whatnot, but Concord didn't make it last year from the beta, so.
No, Arc Raiders feels very much like a recency bias thing. I don't really know why it's here.
So does Peak, though.
Well, Peak felt. You got to remember that game sold like 17 million copies or something.
I get it,
right?
I
get why it's here.
I get why it's here. I don't really know that should be here.
I think Arc Raiders doesn't make sense, right? I think it's the game that came out right before they had to put in multiplayer, their votes. I think the nominees were like, remember to get it in by November 12th.
Yeah.
And that game came out November 11th. I think that's what that is. I think it is purely recency bias. If this had come out a month before it, we would have had something else, If it'd come out a month after, it would have been something else. I think Arc Raiders is a game that people are not going to remember necessarily.
Ooh,
hot take. Like it's a Tarkov clone, and sure, it's a fine one, but it's a Tarkov clone, and it doesn't do a whole lot that's interesting necessarily. And I think that that's fine. It can be fun. I'm not trying to just attack this game.
The best multiplayer isn't a game that's always remembered a year later either.
That's true.
Yeah. And to your point, I'm sure you fully believe that when Marathon comes, it'll sweep and destroy Arc Raiders' legacy forever.
If we have Marathon come out the day before the nominees are due, I think it shows up here just because it's popular on Steam.
Yeah.
I don't think Battlefield 6 should be here either. I think Battlefield 6 multiplayer is very fun for me, but it's broken. And, there's a lot of people who don't like that game very much, and it's just here because it's the big AAA multiplayer game that's out at the moment.
I'll say for it being a good Battlefield for the first time in a long time, that does do a lot, because multiplayer is inherently always broken, so I get it.
I love Battlefield 6. I enjoy it very much. I just don't think that it's, the best multiplayer. I think it's here because it's, the AAA nod. I think Night Rain takes the Souls sort of idea and gives it something that's new and unique, and that's really cool. I think Peak is sort of the poster child for friend slop, which is a term that I hate. Yeah. But boy, it sure is like the one of the year, right? And then Split Fiction makes sense too because it's this co-op, family-friendly kind of cozy game. So I think those three make a lot of sense. Arc Raiders is recency bias, and Battlefield 6 is just the AAA nod, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Peak wins. I don't know that I believe it should be here. It's good.
I would not be surprised either. I would vote for Peak out of the ones here. It's either Peak or Night Rain for me.
Yeah, definitely the most bring your fun game out of these, Peak, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a yes and video game. So if you're not, great at improv, then there's less there for you, I think, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Chris, your third one to read is Best Narrative. Guess what? It's the same
do you
list.
like hearing me say the same games over and over? Best Narrative, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F.
It's really interesting to me because Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 doesn't have kind of the same sort of narrative structure as the rest of these, where it is closer to like an sim than it is to, your traditional...
DK should be here, yeah.
I'm sorry?
DK should be here then. Yeah.
yeah, right. Like it's just closer to that in the way that like it's very, very open and broad, and it's mostly, you know, if you've played The Witcher or you've played any sort of Western RPG that's from Eastern Europe, right? Like it's got that same sort of vibe that's going on here. I think it's a really cool game. It's hard to say that like the written narrative is the best.
Would you say
it's weird?
Would you say it's here because best narrative equals best writing? For a lot of people,
you know, right? Because like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has the largest script in gaming history. It has 2.2 million words in the scripts. That's more than the number 2, which is Baldur's Gate 3 at 2 million words. It's a really big, well-written game with a lot of words in it, and I think that's why it's here.
Yeah.
Silent Hill F, right? Like the story in that is arguably kind of bad at times, actually. You know, so like, why is it here? Death Stranding 2, you know, boy, people are confused as to what it even means.
It is the most baffling story I've played in a long time. It's not to say it's bad, but they literally straight up tell you the thing that is supposed to be the twist immediately, and then they play it like it's a twist later. It also has a character that explains so much more than Kojima has ever explained to people. I think he's lost his opinion of gamers. It's even lower now than it was at one point before, because there is a character named Neil Vana. And Chris, you were there when I got to the scene where we met Neil Vana, and Dollman said, "Could this be symbolic of something?"
It felt parody. It felt satire. It felt like he was going to turn to the camera and wink. Like, I was aghast at just the level of throwing the hands up. I don't even care anymore that made it into the final game.
So, some people out there are like, yo, yellow paint bad. And then you have Dollman. And they're like, I love Dollman.
It just feels like you turned on a thing that's like, hey, do you want me to explain the game's themes to you that are very obvious? And you went, yeah, okay. And he's like, you got it, Sam.
It's incredible.
It was quite something.
It's incredible. I'm kind of surprised Ghost of Yotei is here, because a lot of the things I've seen are the story is around the same level as the original, which I appreciated, but
it's fine.
It's good. This is Claire Obscure's to lose. That's one of the best narratives I've ever played in a game. Straight up, it's so layered, so incredible. It's not going to lose. It's not going to lose. Em, you're going to read the next few. So best performance. It's half Claire Obscure.
Hey, you got a new game here.
So, best performance, we have 3 from Claire Obscure. You've got Jennifer English, Ben Starr, and Charlie Cox. From Ghost of Yotei, we have Erika Ishii. We've got Indiana Jones, Troy Baker, and Silent Hill F, Konatsu Karu.
Troy Baker back at it again, baby.
I saw people upset that Troy Baker wasn't here. This is the other one I saw a bit of, that he wasn't here twice because they wanted him for Death Stranding 2. Which
was he good?
He's good. He's good, okay. But his Indiana Jones is actually stellar. Even if there are times where you get a little bit of Troy Baker out of it, it feels uncanny valley how good he is at times while also still sounding like himself. Plus, he makes a lot of noises where he jumps and he just goes, huh. And it's my favorite thing.
That's true.
It's my favorite thing ever.
That's true. Yeah, I think he did a good job in Indiana Jones. It makes sense why he's been nominated. I do think Silent Hill F, again, very competent. I think that this is one of those ones where, it's really unfortunate to just kind of be up against Claire Obscure in sort of like any audio or art for this year.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a chance that one of them could sneak through because people split votes on all 3 of Claire Obscure.
That's true.
And what's insane is, again, this is the other one I had seen people talk about. People were upset that there wasn't a 4th Claire Obscure character because, again, the delivery, the performances are just stellar. I would think either of the top 2 could take that one.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Ben Starr.
He's really good. Jennifer English is incredible.
Yeah.
Mael's one of like the best like cute kid characters, you know what I mean? Like the Ellie archetype that I've seen, full stop. So I'm glad Erika Ishii is here. I don't know how her performance, how their performance is, but it'll shut people up. It won't, but it's good to see.
I think this is fueling the fire, if anything, man.
Yeah, but it's nice to be like, that the rest of the world is like, you know what, shut up. Like, I'm glad, you know.
Yeah, I really enjoy Erika Ishii.
They're
I
great.
enjoy their audio just kind of in general. They've been in a whole lot of things. You know, I enjoyed them. They were the only good part of the Dragon Age Veilguard, right? Like that game bad.
There was a good short film I saw them in. It was posted on YouTube, but it was like an actual short film. I don't know the name of it, but it was really good. It was like very, you know, just all facial expressions, not really a lot of speaking, about someone who moved to Japan who was Asian but didn't speak like native Japanese, and like the language barrier with somebody who was a native Japanese person. And I was like, that's really cute and sweet, and everyone can understand that feeling of like kind of being alone in a place that you're not, and they conveyed that really well. So glad that's there.
Yep. I don't know. I've enjoyed Erika Ishii a lot. You know, one of her characters was one of my favorite in, or not, you know, top 10 at least in Cyberpunk. I don't know. I've enjoyed the acting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Chris, any notes on this one before we jump along?
Nope. I'm excited for Claire Obscure to win something else, though. I feel like where this is going as I look at 3 of them here, right?
I'm guessing this is 3 of the 12 record nominations that this game has. I'm assuming 3 of them are in this category, and it's not nominated 12 different categories. Not sure, though. And we're going to jump along to Best Score and Music. Guess what? It's the same.
Best Score and Music, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotai, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong.
Claire
Obscure again.
Claire Obscure is to lose. That is some of the best music in a game ever.
Can I prod you on Death Stranding 2? Does that game's original soundtrack come up here? Does this include licensed music? Like,
I would assume it's good. A lot of it kind of feels like it's almost a callback to the first game, in that there's a lot of low roar there. Right. And I'm happy with that. I also, you know, that's not the game's fault. I get sad because one of the artists, or the main artist of Low Roar, passed away sometime after that game's release, and it was unfortunate because, you know, you learn about this artist and then you don't get to appreciate them.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't remember a ton of standouts besides the one with the dancing puppet thing that went everywhere. That's not a spoiler, I promise.
Yeah, I'm always a little iffy on licensed music being part of like something for this, you know, because I think it can very much help shape a game's identity. Like Crazy Taxi, it just immediately comes to mind of like they've put Crazy Taxi out without the Offspring and Bad Religion, and it doesn't work. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I would then say, granted, Crazy Taxi doesn't have like original music, but I wouldn't be then like, this is one of the best soundtracks of the year because it shaped the identity of this game. You know, I couldn't get it that far. So when I look at Death Stranding, I'm always like, he picked some pretty good songs to include, but I don't remember much of anything else aside from like Lou's theme from Death Stranding 1, you know?
Yeah,
but I might be weird on that.
James Gunn-esque, where if it can drive, like, because it is meant to be a movie, so it's meant to drive that emotion, and I think it's good at that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some, you know, it's funny you bring up James Gunn, because we've seen Guardians of the Galaxy win for a jukebox soundtrack before. You know, it won the Grammy for that, and it had no new music on it. You know, we saw Barbie did the same thing. And then in the video game space, you know, Cyberpunk and Deathloop both got a whole lot of credit for their jukebox soundtracks as well. Yeah. So I'm not super surprised to see it here, even though it doesn't really have a whole lot of original music.
Yeah. Claire Obscure not nominated for a Grammy, which is an insane snub. Because there's a gaming category for the Grammys. I don't know what's there, but I saw that last week or so, and it was kind of wild because that is a full-ass orchestra. How do you not nominate? Whatever. Next one. I don't know if you did 3, so you're going to do one more. Best Action.
Best Action, we've got Battlefield 6, Doom, The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
Doom came out this year?
Doom did come out this year. It fell so flat. It fell so flat.
I was waiting for Trav's video on it. That's I thought it was like last year because it's been a while.
Yeah,
Trav.
So Doom is really interesting because I think it sort of shows how poorly Game Pass was working. You know, they had 3.5 million people play it in the first week and less than 1 million sales, and that should tell you what Game Pass was doing to games that aren't things people want to buy, right?
Yeah.
So the Dark Ages was not this huge, oh my God, everybody wants to play it kind of game. It was, coming in with kind of a negative feel, a negative vibe. People were kind of not excited as much for it, but like, oh yeah, it's a great, it's Doom. We're going to get a new Doom game, but nobody was pumped for it. And I think that kind of came through in the fact that everybody chose to rent it rather than buy it through Game Pass.
Yeah.
I don't know that it should be here. It's fine. It's easily the most boring Doom game ever. Right? But
I'm
it's fine.
excited for the
It's
8-hour dissection of that quote. Ninja Gaiden 4, it's cool that it's here. Chris, I've played a bit of Shinobi. I don't know if you have, but I'm happy that's here too.
I played the demo. I'm surprised it's here. Yeah, I don't know, based on the demo, if I would put it up here, right? But it's cool to see it, I think Wizard Cube makes cool games, so, and obviously as a Sega man, I'm happy to see it.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden 4, though, that, I don't know if it's just like the anti-Xbox sentiment or boycott or people not being big Ninja Gaiden heads, but that's like a new Platinum game, action game, and I didn't see zilch about it except for like one person in my server playing it, and then even then they didn't talk about it a lot. I have no concept of how if it's fantastic and no one played it, or if it's mediocre and that's why no one's talking about it. Like I can't put a temperature on that.
I think those games are the truest for the sickos game that'll appear on a Game Awards list.
Yeah.
There is a specific type of player that adores those games, and Godspeed. Nothing against them, but they're kind of niche despite being successful because of how absolutely brutal those games are.
Yeah.
Cool action games. And I will take over here for Best Action Adventure Game, which should be the same thing, but isn't. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Silksong, Indiana Jones, and Split Fiction. That's a different list, kind of.
I don't think there's anything here that we haven't really talked about.
Nope.
I feel like out of these, though, Indiana Jones feels like probably the most earned win here.
I'm glad it's here because it came out last year at the very end after the voting, and I thought it was going to miss everything. Yeah, I'm glad it's a really good game.
It is a good game. I think it has its flaws for sure, but as far as just sheer playability, what an enjoyable experience to just kind of do that.
Yeah. It stumbles near the end when it gets a little long in the tooth, but the first two acts are so good.
Yeah, and super accessible too. For anybody who's thinking about playing it, you can basically turn this on to like ultra easy baby mode and just walk through the game if you want to, which I think is really nice to have that ability in the game.
Love when
where
games do that.
When we're talking about like not a Souls game specifically, where like the difficulty is the gameplay, right? Like in Silksong, the difficulty is the gameplay. You're not really there for like the story. But Indiana Jones is more of a movie, and so making it as easy as possible. Right now I've been playing Dispatch. And Dispatch has the ability to turn off QuickTime events and basically just make it a movie. And boy, I like that so much. I don't want to do QuickTime events. They suck. Yeah. So I'm very happy to just watch my 8-hour-long superhero movie. That's great.
Chris, any thoughts on this one that we haven't said?
It was a lot of fun watching you play Indiana Jones over Discord. A lot of fun. So just based on that, it should win because it's a really funny
immersive
game.
Sim. I'm right. It is an immersive sim. You can't debate me. Best family game: DK Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and Split Fiction.
So we have a couple new ones here.
Yeah.
I think I really just want to talk about Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which is so incredibly good. It's so wildly good. What a good racing game. Just super, super good. Boy, it just beats the crap out of Mario Kart in every possible way, in my opinion. I was blown away by this stupid little arcade racer. It was just so much fun.
I'm happy that a lot of people have been adoring it as much as they have, because I was kind of lukewarm going into its release. As somebody who is a sicko for that specific Sonic Racing series, Transformed is maybe the best kart racer ever made, in my opinion. It is so good. I was also a little biased. I wanted the Sega in this one, and I know there's Sega DLC that's free, but I wanted Sonic and Sega Racing Crossworlds. I know it doesn't sell as well, but god damn it, you can still call it Sonic and have Sega. It's okay. Some of the tracks in Transformed were just stellar and got me into a lot of those series. And that's what this is. It's an advertisement. Do it.
Especially for SpongeBob now.
Yeah, now it's a SpongeBob
soon.
game. That's great. Lego Party, I've heard good things about. I've heard it's like, hey, here's a Mario Party that's not Mario Party. That's kind of rad. I don't know what Lego Voyagers is, and I'm not going to ask.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Is it a
I
sequel
saw
to that
them and I was like,
ray-traced
yeah,
one?
all right.
Is that? Oh, maybe. I think I've seen I think I've seen the logo of this game. It's not going to be in my bubble, obviously. Nothing against it. I love Lego and I love Lego games, but you know, like I saw Lego Horizons for $20 and I was like, no, I'm good. Or Lego Horizon singular. I was like, I'm going to wait till it's on PS Plus. I'm not paying for, I bought Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. Not that this is the same kind of game, but I bought that on my Steam Deck. And I really enjoyed it. And then, I'm like, oh God, these are so overwhelming. There's so much stuff to do in these games. I will never complete it. So I put it down and I kind of play an hour every month or so.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing that I know about Voyagers, and it's not even like about the game necessarily, which kind of shows you how little I know about it, is the fact that they have a free version of it that you can download that allows you to join anybody's world. So that's fun. A family can just buy one copy and then play with their kids.
That's great. Games should do that more.
I think it's a great idea. Yeah. You pay for the game for $30 or whatever, and then your kids can play with you.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously a kid's game. It's a family game, right? And this way you're not spending a whole bunch of extra money, and they can just have that experience with you. I think that's cool.
Minecraft.
Yeah, I think it's super neat. What a neat idea. I don't know anything else about the game, though, at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, your thoughts on Crossworlds?
Oh, it's fun. I'm kind of tainted because the online play is just everyone spamming the most annoying items in the last stretch of the lap when the game takes away telling you what position you're in. So you go through an entire online race and just don't know what is happening at the end of basically every race. It's not even like people are just too good at the game. It's just everyone saves their blue shells and red shell equivalents for that last stretch. And it's just every race you end it online of like, what am I doing? But the single player, it's fun. It doesn't beat Transformed for me, but I do think that I kind of ate some crow because based on the betas, I was like, I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing with this one.
Yeah.
But they tuned it in over those betas to get it to a pretty good spot, I think, for an offline experience. So, I guess I'd vote for it. Because when I think family game, I guess I'm kind of thinking multiplayer still. And I look at DK Bonanza and I'm like, I guess that had the little...
It's got the baby mode.
Pauline mode.
Yeah.
Where like the other character can kind of shout at people and send voice lines at people.
Best cartoon game is what is at that point what DK is there for, and it's like okay, but then why?
It's a Nintendo game. It must be a family game.
Yeah. Best fighting game. We have 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo.
Were there that few fighting games that 2 compilations made it on the list?
And another port.
And a port.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Virtua Fighter 5, but...
Yeah.
2XKO feels like it's probably the most likely to win here. What an interesting game. Free to play. It's from Riot. They are expanding from MOBAs into FPS and now into fighting games. They're really kind of taking over that whole space. It's really interesting. I don't know that it's super good. I haven't put a whole lot of time into it. It's an interesting sort of tag team thing going on there, which is fine, I guess. It's kind of the only one here that feels like it's actually, intended to be the best fighting game and not just like the best collection.
I think Fatal Fury was intended to be, and then the publisher got involved. So we have Ronaldo.
And the DJ guy.
Yeah. And the DJ guy. Yeah, because 2XKO was in development for so long, and then by the end, it got kind of like cucked by the existence of Marvel Tokon, because they were going for let's revive the genre of tag fighter, and then Marvel Tokon comes and says, no, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna destroy everything you ever lived for. So obviously not out yet, but it kind of had its steam pulled from it. So
I don't see how any of these others have a shot. No.
It's one of those two.
We are going to see a completely different thing, I think, next year with Tokon, because boy, Arc makes fighting games. They make good fighting games, and that is going to be the fighting game to beat
of the future for a few years. Yeah,
if it's good at all, right? Like if it's good at all.
If it's not good, I would be shocked. Like I near zero chance of it not being great. Their pedigree speaks for itself. The only thing that could come close is if they just suddenly shadow dropped a Smash game. That's not happening. So
so next year we're going to see that. For sure. Yeah. Arc does such a good job. Blaze Blue is maybe the best fighting game of all time, so yeah.
I'm going to have us speed through a few of these after independent game because there's going to be some discussion there and we're going a little long. Best independent game, Absolem, Ball X Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Hades 2, and Silksong. There's going to be a lot of debate when Clair Obscur wins.
It's the Dave the Diver thing again, a little bit, right? Not exactly 1-to-1, but it is making you question, like, well, what is independent at a point?
Yeah.
Is this team size? Is this they had a lot of funding? Like, what
and if it's team, is it there's a publisher? Is it who you get? I've seen so many debates like, oh, it has good voice actors, it can't be indie, and then Hades 2 has the same voice actors. I've seen team size, and Hades 2 has the same team size. Independent doesn't mean anything anymore. There's an independent publisher attached to Clair Obscur, which should be what takes it out, the fact that it has an actual publisher, but it becomes a budget debate. And, Hades 2's budget was probably pretty high because it's been in development for like 7 years. I don't know. It's Silksong, its budget was however much they chose. We're not going to know, but it was probably millions.
Yeah.
I don't know. Blueprints was in development for 10 years. Obviously by only a few people, but it was in development for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be a debate. I don't know that we have the length for a debate of that right now, and we've kind of talked about indie and what that means before on these. So
I'm actually working on a current video essay that's going to be talking about this, and it's really helpful that this is kind of dropped right in here because boy, what does indie mean anymore is sort of difficult. We've been wrestling with this discussion for several years now because indie used to mean that you didn't have a publisher, and now you can see that some of the biggest games of the year are indie games. I don't know why Peak isn't here. I think that makes no sense. Peak is absolutely the biggest indie game of the year. It sold nearly 20 million copies. It's one of the best-selling games of all time. And it's an indie title from two guys.
Yeah. Did Peak was Devolver involved with Peak, or are they only Ball X Pit?
I think just Ball X Pit.
They're just Ball X Pit.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I was going to say it'd be weird that they had that was the game of theirs that made it.
And like Absolem is .emu. Like, is that indie at this point? I don't know. Like, that's one of my most exciting games to play. Like, I'm happy to see it get a nod because the demo was awesome, right? But I don't know what indie.
Yeah, indie is meaningless anymore. So it's when Clair Obscur likely wins, it's gonna start some convos.
That's a good night to not be on Blue Sky or Twitter or anywhere, I think.
Yeah. I mean, right? Like when we're talking just sort of developers, right? Who could be more? Or I guess publishers, who's more indie than Landfall Games, right? Like they made Content Warning and Cluster Truck and kind of like all that sort of stuff, totally accurate. So why isn't Peak here? It doesn't make any sense. What does indie mean anymore? Dave the Diver was a plant.
Best mobile game, Destiny Rising, I don't know what that is. Persona 5, The Phantom X, that has the Subway Slammer. Sonic Rumble, which literally just came out. Uma Musume, Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves.
This is the most Justin-coded category, I have to say.
Uma Musume is definitely the winner. It is the biggest mobile game kind of in the world for a while, El Condor Rasa is, of course, the best horse, and that's the end of the discussion.
I'm just having to imagine Geoff with his stupid sneakers on stage being like, Uma Musume wins best mobile game, and the giant horse girls are on the screen behind him, and he's like, that's right, they're clopping to the front line.
This is going to be one of those things that they announced in the pre-show. Okay, we've got 3 more things for you. Best mobile game.
It's not going to be him. It's going to be one of the other presenters that's going to like power through him. He's not going to put his name near that. He's not going to say, "I played this 7 years ago and cried."
I'm just praying for that awkward, like he's talking to the VTuber horse girl on screen. He's like, "Wow, how does it feel to win the award? Horse, real life horse anime girl."
When Death Stranding wins, you'll have the VTuber show up to accept the award.
Yeah, I this is what I need from the Game Awards, honestly.
Best ongoing game. Chris, you go ahead.
I'm already saying it. Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail, that came out. Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. Back at it again.
Boy, some hot takes here. Helldivers 2 does not deserve to be here. It has absolutely, completely shit the bed this year. Just not good. Fortnite, it is the game that is the ongoing game to beat. It's absolutely the thing that, like, if we're going to break it down, it's probably the best game that you could possibly do, just because it's every game that you could possibly do.
I have a thought about that at a higher level that I'll briefly say, but we won't have a deeper discussion about it. I think Fortnite is near a critical mass. I think we're nearing a point. Obviously, it will still be successful, but I think we're nearing a point where it's not nearly as discussed. They're starting to work even more on gimmick seasons to try and get people in that haven't been playing in a while, like the Simpsons season. Really cool stuff. I think if you're a new player that goes into that game at this point, not that there are many left, it's such an overstimulating thing to look at that I think we're nearing the critical mass of that game.
Like for
after
sentiment,
so
maybe.
many years. Yeah,
I think that makes a lot of sense. I have no doubt that
it's going to be there forever. It's not going to go away. But
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years it's like, oh, Fortnite gets eclipsed, right?
Yeah,
it's not going to happen for a few years for sure. There's nothing like Fortnite. There really isn't. People forget that this game made $40 billion. $40 billion, right? That's 4 times more than Grand Theft Auto 5. It's massive. You can't touch Fortnite.
Yeah.
The game I think deserves it, though, is No Man's Sky.
The fact that they're still updating that game.
Big update.
They did another update.
Yeah. One day I'll play that game. That'd be cool.
Man, what they've done with this, No Man's Sky is really, really good. It's super enjoyable and people should play it. It's fantastic. Truly, just one of the best space games out there. And I am so impressed that Sean Murray managed to rehabilitate that game because, boy, when it launched, that thing was trash.
He un-Molyneuxed himself, which is impressive.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I think he knows better, but I think he did Molyneux something else on his new game, so we'll see.
Oh, we're back.
Best RPG, Avowed, Claire Obscure, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds 2.
I forgot Avowed existed.
I liked Avowed. Again, I know we're going long, so I don't want to go too deep into it. I liked Avowed. Yeah. It was solid. They made 2 games this year. That came out and Outer Worlds 2 came out. That's really cool. Obsidian's one of the best developers in the industry. I haven't played Outer Worlds 2. I will. I haven't played Monster Hunter Wilds. I won't. Claire Obscure's going to win.
Yep.
It's
foregone conclusion.
This is maybe like one of the most competitive outside of Claire Obscure, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that Kingdom Come and Avowed and Outer Worlds all have a super valid claim to best RPG. Yeah. And if any of them were to beat Claire Obscure, which they won't, but if they were going to, it would be totally justified.
Yeah.
It would not be like oh wow, Claire Obscure lost to like a bad game. No, they're all good. Except for Wilds.
People will look at Claire Obscure in like 10 years as like a Final Fantasy VII sort of moment for a lot of players who didn't play RPGs prior to that. Yeah. It is that sort of game. It is that sort of game in terms of the impact it'll have for a whole new audience. So it's going to win. Best sports racing, EAFC F1 25, Mario Kart World Rematch, which I guess did actually finally come out, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
So tough because it sort of shows how the sports sort of genre is not what it used to be, right? Like the sports genre used to be the biggest sellers that were kind of making waves and changing everything. And now you've got, car soccer with people and Sonic Racing. And like, I don't think that Sonic Racing or Mario Kart are bad, but like, the best sports games. It's
I mean,
wild
best
to
sports
even
and
think of.
racing used to be separate categories. Yeah, there's a whole discussion. I mean, I had that one video on like the Madden developer coming to Sony and how in American gaming, especially because America is such a sports centric country, so many sports games became the drivers of tech, like you said. And at a point, we hit critical mass on that, and all those sports developers kind of pivoted into doing cinematic stuff because they now had the tech for it. Is it a fascinating production history? If Rematch had continued evolving, I think it would have a better shot because it's very fun. It's the arcadey kind of game we want out of a sports game.
Yeah.
But I think the same bugs still exist. So I think, yeah. Plus,
a lot of our
Justin
time spent playing
bullied
that,
Chris
I
off
remember, it
game.
was just us having issues of like, why did that just happen? There's no reason for that to have just happened. And you can take some of that here and there, but it was frequent.
Yeah, and Justin bullied you off that game.
And Justin bullied me off that game rudely. Yeah. For me, it's just sad to see the racing game genre to a point where nothing against either of those games, but the only racing games here are kart racers. I'm like, that's kind of sad, you know?
Hey, there's F1. There's F1.
Okay, yeah.
Tokyo Extreme Racer got a new announcement, right, for next year?
What was it?
Did that happen? The Tokyo Extreme Racer? Did I phantom that? Did that happen?
Oh no, that's the thing. I lost track.
That'd be cool.
That does exist.
That'd be cool for next year.
Yeah,
We'll see.
We'll see.
Chris, best strategy / sim game.
Oh, here's some new ones. Civ 7, Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilist Chronicles, which is just a remaster. Jurassic World Evolution 3, The Altars, Tempest Rising, and 2 Point Museum. That's a spread.
Yeah, I saw this. I saw that some of these were like being talked about, and Civ 7 shouldn't be here. It's a weird one that they chose that. I think it's just kind of shows you how little strategy games have come out this year and where we're at.
Yeah.
The Altars is really cool. It's a really cool game. I don't know that it's a strategy game. I don't know that I would call it a strategy game. It's real weird that it's here. It's super cool. Super
Do you
cool.
guys remember if Fire Emblem in 2019 was in this category, or was it an RPG? Because Final Fantasy Tactics should be in whatever category Fire Emblem was in.
I'll look real quick.
Because it is an SRPG. It is a strategy RPG. Don't get me wrong. But like South Park Fractured But Whole probably also wasn't in this category, I'm going to guess. It feels weird to see that, you know?
Yeah.
Not debating it.
Game
just
for Fire Emblem Three Houses.
It was. Okay, then there you go. Then they consider that a separate thing. Then they're consistent. Then that's what I was looking for.
I think Jurassic World Evolution 3 got, some praise, so it kind of makes sense why it's here. 2 Point Museum, if you like the 2 Point kind of theme hospital thing, right? It's just that, again, it does it well. I think it makes sense to have it here. I couldn't tell you what's going to win here. I just know that Civ 7 shouldn't be here. It's one of the most divisive games of the year. I've never seen people angrier at a game than they were when Civ 7 came out, and people are like, you ruined my favorite thing.
I would assume safe bet Final Fantasy just for the name.
Yeah,
That is a beloved game. Yeah.
Yeah, and the remake, from what I've heard, is pretty good. It did everything. There's 2 different localization options, so you can have like the old-timey English and like the modified direct translation version of the Japanese, which is cool. Best VR / AR game.
Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcan Age, Deadpool VR, Ghost Town, and The Midnight Walk.
Did Deadpool VR not come out like yesterday?
I've played none of these. I know nothing about them. This is something that you could not even nominate, and I wouldn't know.
Alien, I heard, was good. I didn't pick it up yet. Also thought that came out last year, but I think it got delayed. I swear to God, I saw a review for Deadpool drop today, so I thought that game just came out.
Maybe. VR is such a weird place, right? It's been in a weird place for a couple of years. It has definitely not taken off in the way that people kind of expected it to. I suspect we're going to see a different story in the next year or two because of the new Steam frame and the expectation that it's going to be an $800 VR headset that operates at the level that it does. If it's $800 VR headset, I might even buy one, right? Like, this thing's going to be just the craziest, most powerful thing that you can have, and the tech behind it's really impressive. We might actually see VR being a thing again, but right now, man, what do you talk about?
Even then, I personally, at this point, I doubt it. I think I think it's going to be a hobbyist thing until someone gets it down to like $400, which Facebook did, and it's, you know, there's compromises at $400, and it's that it's Facebook. I don't know. I think at this point, you know, there's not enough money in making the games anymore unless Valve's going to start funding games like Meta is, because Meta is holding that whole genre up at this point almost exclusively. Walkabout Mini Golf should win. I don't care that it didn't come out this year. That is the best VR game of modern VR. Best adaptation. Oh boy. A Minecraft movie. Devil May Cry. Splinter Cell Deathmatch. I don't even know what that is. The Last of Us Season 2 and Until Dawn. Where is Twisted
Sonic
Metal?
the Hedgehog 3, Kevin.
Where is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Twisted Metal? I haven't watched the new season of Twisted Metal, but I've heard it's really good.
Right, yeah.
So I guess I might be the only one who's actually seen all of these.
Yep.
I think Until Dawn is actually a really interesting adaptation. It is not an adaptation of any one of the stories. It is very interesting. It's very interesting. If you like horror movies, Until Dawn does a very interesting thing, and I think it's worth a watch.
I had heard that. A lot of it was like, it seems like it's not bad, but why do they call it Until Dawn?
It is not Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Except in name. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. A Minecraft movie is actively bad. I don't know why it's here, other than it's just popular. Devil May Cry was fine. Splinter Cell Deathwatch, that's the brand new.
Deathwatch, I'm sorry.
It's the brand new Netflix anime, I think 2 weeks old. And then The Last of Us Season 2, I think, had the biggest drop-off of viewership, like, in any prestige television show. So I don't know, man. It's a weird kind of category in general. This is very strange.
I know what'll probably win, and I don't know outside of a couple episodes that it should, because as a Last of Us 2 enjoyer, Last of Us Season 2 did a couple things slightly better, and a lot of things, there's a reason that Neil Druckmann's not involved in the third season. There's a reason that the third season seems to very much be, we're going to let them do that from here. There's a reason that it's very clear, for as much as people dunk on Neil Druckmann, it seemed very clear that because he wasn't actually in the writer's room this season, he was busy working on their new game, that a lot of things changed that maybe he didn't have a lot of say in, and a lot of things are over-explained and clunky dialogue, which in The Last of Us, as much as people make fun of lines, Neil Druckmann writing tends to use very few words to get a lot done. He apparently goes again and again and again and rewrites things over and over until it is the most, the densest usage of words so that you're not saying a lot.
Yeah.
That is not what that show is.
That was definitely felt in season 2. I felt like all the elements were there to have made it just as good as season 1, but it just falls flat so many different times that I just walked away with a negative impression, even if there were things I did really like here and there.
The only episode I think Dina's actress is really good. She's going to break out even more in the next few years.
Oh yeah.
I think the episode that Neil Druckmann directed, the flashback episode, is, it does live up to what a lot of people were saying, where it was, wow, this is one of the better episodes of recent television, period. It is really, really good. You can tell there's a lot more, not that there wasn't care in the other stuff, but you can feel the care in that one, where I think people are realizing that the guy who did Chernobyl maybe also is still the guy that did The Hangover 2 or whatever he did. That maybe Chernobyl wasn't his pedigree.
Yeah.
So, Sonic.
Congratulations to Jack Black.
Yeah. Community support. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. We're just gonna keep going. Debut indie game, Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Despilote, Dispatch, and Megabonk.
Megabonk. Interesting. This is one also where I guess you're like, man, what's an indie game? Because this patch has like 200 animators on it or some crazy thing, right? It's probably technically indie, but man, that discussion again. Cool to see Despelot here. Like, I haven't played that, but I know that's very much a personal, very much like a very culture specific kind of tale of like going back into like the 90s and kind of seeing through the eyes of a child and like a world that's kind of like vaguely understanding what the adults are talking around you and very serious things, but you just don't really get it because you're like 8. Very interesting. Very
I love
cool
games
to see
that
it
do
here.
That. I love that idea.
I really want to check that out. Megabonk, I think, again, it's just funny to see Geoff talking about a Vampire Survivors game on a huge stage. So I kind of want that to win just because funny, right?
New update for Megabonk.
That's right. The Chick Hydrobot is in the game now. Congratulations. Blueprints, I fell off of that pretty damn quickly. But the time I did spend with it before I got frustrated, thumbs up.
Very special for as long as you play it. And then when you stop, you are right to.
Yep. No, that is Blueprints. Yeah.
Which I respect.
Boy, I'd like to think that at this point, the judges going through have voted enough to where they're like, all right, but Clear Obscure, I've already hit 8 times. Let's give it to something else. But
the idea that it would win best indie game, but then not best debut indie game is incredible. Also.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, you could say it's not their debut indie game. A lot of them did work. A couple of them did work at Ubisoft. There are people that like worked together before. There's an argument you could make, but it's not going to be made.
Yeah, but Dispatch is the same way, right? Like that's just Telltale and Ubisoft.
At that point, it'd be Blueprints and Blueprints I don't think is winning anything. Games for Impact, Consume Me, Despelot, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wanderstop. South of Midnight, I think maybe its only nomination. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Wanderstop too. Wanderstop's a very interesting little game about, making tea. South of Midnight is probably the rightful winner here. Lost Records is kind of, I don't know. It's got, what's that strange, Life is Strange? It's that Life is Strange kind of vibe going on with Lost Records. Oh,
right. Yeah.
Right. Despelot is definitely like the most personal kind of story there, whatever the soccer thing that they're talking. I don't know Consume Me at all. I've not seen this.
Eating disorder, kind of struggling with that.
Oh, okay.
It's very cutesy style, but very serious subject matter kind of vibe. Yeah, I've been wanting to check that out.
That's not. Yeah, a lot of these are ones that are kind of on my list that sadly I haven't had a chance to check out. But I'm always happy to see this entry here, and I always try to make sure to check out any of the games listed because best esports game. Are we going to stop? Are we stopping at this point?
Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
You know what? Maybe we're not stopping yet. Counter-Strike 2, Dota, League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Valorant.
Sometimes you find out a video game in the best way possible, and Mobile Legends Bang Bang is the most like, I don't know, cynical maybe. It's just like, I don't know, put a name on this stupid game. I don't care.
Oh, Content Creator of the Year.
Moriarty's on here.
We have Moist Critical is there. The idea, Critical. This is entirely fan voted. Kai's going to win, but I could see Critical's audience doing it.
What's up, everyone? I'm here with Geoff Keighley.
Oh,
I think either of those would make sense. With the esports stuff, people don't really know about it. It is handled by different voters, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't mean to downplay it. It's just that's not our ball game at all.
Yeah, I mean, Gen G or T1 is probably the best teams. I was the best player. Faker is actually the best player, but I don't think he was even nominated, which is insane because he's now on like his eighth World's Championship. He's got more rings than LeBron. I mean, like, he's the best, maybe. If you include athlete, he's the most winning athlete in the world.
Yeah, that would be a fun discussion that we're not going to have. Most anticipated game, we have 007. It's GTA 6. There's Marvel, 6. Also ran Resident Evil, also ran The Witcher 4. Witcher 4 is going to be here every year till it comes out, never. So...
No, just imagine.
I was surprised by First Light. I was surprised by that.
I'm excited for First Light.
Yeah, I'm with you in being surprised this year, actually, based on what they have shown. Like, I've trusted that will be good, but based on what they've shown, I'm a little like, okay.
Yeah.
A little more Hitman-y jank than I was expecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Requiem was really cool. I played it, at PAX. I enjoyed it.
Right.
I think it's, It's a Resident Evil game. It's interesting that they've given you the option to do third person or first person, so that's kind of neat. Yeah. But it's GTA 6. I don't know, like, they shouldn't have even done this one. They should have been like, GTA 6's category this year.
Imagine, if you will, when our man Jeffster is on stage and a 7th entry slides down and it's Half-Life, whatever they're calling the new one that definitely exists, right? And he's like, actually,
we should be seeing that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, we should be seeing the Half-Life 3, if that's what they're going to call it, announcement in the next week or two. I don't know why. Like, they might have the Game Awards be completely overshadowed by the fact that Half-Life 3 is there and people aren't voting for it for most anticipated.
I fully expect that if that happens. But yeah. It's going to be probably a quiet show as far as surprises, as far as awards go. I think this is one of the sweepier years we've had in recent memory. Even last year, there was the debate about Astrobot versus Wukong. And like, you know, people were scrounging for a fight on this one. It's just going to be a scrounge for a fight against Claire Obscure, but
it's not the award show's fault, but the major categories being mostly the same handful of games over and over. Like, I'm already dreading this 3-hour show, 5 game commercials, and then back to a thing, and it's the same 4 or 5 games. Like, there's just, as a viewer, it's like, you know.
Yeah, and what's nice is at least half the time when it is, you know, multiple winners on a single game, they'll be like, it also won these 7 awards. So it is nice that they'll do that. Again, I'd like there to be a press junket in the back for exactly that reason. So we can hear about that. The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences does a bunch of stuff similar to that. They were founded in part by Ted Price, Tim Schafer, a bunch of others in that like early clique of early 2000s game leaders. And they do a bunch of really cool like podcast hosting, essentially, with a bunch of these winning creators during BAFTAs, during Game of the Year stuff. And that's kind of what I go to for the stuff that I want the Game Awards to do besides announce the games, because the Game Awards is a front for announcing games. So this was a fun bonus podcast for everybody. Hopefully you've enjoyed our thoughts on this. Any final thoughts before we call it a day here today?
Man, I don't know. This is if you're looking for a year to skip the Game Awards, this is probably the one.
We might do it on Twitch.
Hang out with us,
and we'll crack jokes the whole time, and you'll probably feel like we're disrespecting the awards, and we might be.
I mean, right? Like, what am I supposed to respect here?
Yeah. I respect Jeff's shoe game.
Jeff's shoe game. He'll have some new quotes for our soundboard, right?
That's true. That's true.
Not to invoke the seriousness of the world right now, but I'm like, man, I don't know how many developers are trying to come to America right now to show off their game that they could just put on Twitter and their website and YouTube, you know,
and pay $100,000 or more for that moment.
I don't know that makes as much sense as it might have in prior years,
especially after the Splitgate situation where they spent a lot of money to get on stage for a game that is like,
hold on, that wasn't in best multiplayer. Let's run this
best
back.
Ongoing in quotes.
Best community support.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Splitgate 2, the game that spent $100,000 to get on stage and then spent more to get streamers to play the game and has like 10 players.
I think legitimately, if that hadn't happened, I think that game would have not a lot of players, but way more than it does at the moment, which is like 2,000. I think that genuinely tanked the game.
The most tone deaf thing I've seen in a long time. What an incredible moment for a game that I have the platinum trophy for, because I liked that game. And then that happened.
Rest in peace, Splitgate 2.
Yeah. We'll have a good Halo one day. Thanks,
truly,
gamers. Let us know.
The Concord of 2025.
Let us know what you're voting for and why we're wrong about whatever ones we said that we think will win.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
We don't have an outro.